Hi everyone, this is Kavitha, and we're back with the second episode of our Unwired series. So, when it comes to marketing strategy, what is that one question I get asked most often? The question is, where do I start? A lot of people come to me to say, I've got a plan, I've got to talk to my management and present a strategy. So I want to start or kick off marketing with an event. Or they come to say, I want to plan a lead generation campaign. But the question is that really the correct starting point? Have you done your groundwork? Have you thought about the bigger picture? We're going to talk about all these things in this episode. And we're going to be answering a lot of questions to help you move along. So let's begin.
How do you define target audience in marketing strategy and what is its importance?
Great question. So target audience can mean different things to different types of organizations. Sometimes we may refer to it as persona. You may refer to it as a KPI, a deliverable, or some sort of a target term that you may be using. So in a broad sense, when you talk about targeting or an audience in your marketing strategy, it basically means you want to start planning with a view on who you want it to reach. So in a sense, that's your deliverable. So target audience to me would mean a deliverable and really a sort of a KPI or a metric that you want to present back to your management.
Can organizations differentiate an approach for startups, mid-market firms, and enterprise-level organizations?
Absolutely. I think, in fact, any marketing strategy that's sort of built as a one-size-fits-all doesn't work. You need to really understand which type of customer you're trying to target. So if you are a large enterprise trying to sell maybe a modular or a specific type of product to startups, you need to really understand that audience. What are their requirements? How do they look? What is their spending pattern? Or for instance, if you want to target two types of age groups, again, that's something that's very important. So organizations need to really differentiate their plans based on the persona. So this can look very different in terms of approach, in terms of how you roll the plan out. Differentiation is key.
What is positioning in market strategy and how does it differentiate an organization?
I see positioning as a tone of voice. So in a sense, what is it that you are depicting about yourself? Are you showing yourself, let's for example say, as a technology company that's going to help you solve people's complexity? That's a positioning. If you are talking to a younger audience and saying, I'm going to help you do things quicker and faster, for example, or in more fun ways, that's a positioning. So to me, positioning is a very important part of the marketing strategy, which basically puts you at a level. There's nothing to say one is a good level or a lower level or otherwise. It just means what is the level that you want to perceive yourself at and put yourself, which automatically then takes you forward to meeting the right target audience and the customer profile that you're looking for.
How can brands make sure their positioning truly connects with their audience?
One of the very big ways is to actually message and build content around your positioning. So content strategy is really the next step where you take your thought process, you take your leadership or your brand impression forward to the market that you're trying to connect with. In terms of differentiating or connecting with your audience, one of the things that you really need to understand and analyze is what the audience is looking for, or if there's a particular pain point or a gap in the market that you're trying to serve. And that's where you build your leadership around the messaging to show them that you can be a great partner to help them solve these issues, address their challenges, and actually fill the gap that they might be facing. So this is an important part of the step.
How can one craft clear and compelling messaging that resonates with their target audience and reflects brand positioning?
That's a very interesting question again. I work a lot with technology global majors, and one of the things I really value and appreciate is the time and effort people put into coming up with a sort of guideline and a brand voice. So that defines really the kind of words they use, the kind of messages they put out, and how exactly they want to be talking to the people they're addressing. So this is really then feeding into how do companies craft similar messages. You don't really have to be a global company to be able to do strong messaging. What you need is good research. You think about what you want to say. You make sure that you talk to people who understand this and help you put this across in using the right language, tone of voice, and also building a brand around it. Maybe it's with imagery or the kind of campaigns they do for you. Maybe it's emailers, maybe it's blogs. So you have to be consistent with the kind of message that you put across all these channels.
How do you maintain consistency in messaging across teams, channels, and markets?
Again, once you've got your content in place that feeds into your strategy, you have to next think about how do you consistently put this across all channels. For example, maybe you're talking about how your product actually helps an organization save on productivity, and you want to build a campaign around that. So what you really need to start doing is plan a timeline where you're coordinating all channels of communication around that big win or around that big benefit that you want to talk about. What doesn't work, for instance, is saying multiple things at the same time and sort of crowding it. So you need to really start planning clear timelines where you're saying, this is the messaging that I'm putting out. It's going to be consistent to my customers. They will see it on social, they will see it via emails, they'll see it on blogs, and they'll also see it in the kind of events we're running or general outreach that we have. So maintaining consistency means you're saying the same thing across channels and building your brand.
How can an organization design an offer that delivers value and supports its overall marketing objectives?
Like I said before, one of the important steps is to understand your customers' requirements, pain points, or specific benefits that they're looking for. This is something you will get to know if you're talking to them, either directly, conducting very specific research with special interest groups, or delving into the data that you may have collected from your customers as feedback and analyzing it. So delivering value needs to be an outcome of understanding these kind of metrics. So when you gather metrics, you analyze it and say, okay, this is what I spoke to my customers about, and they've given me feedback saying this helped me achieve an X value. Or for example, I'm a customer that struggles with this pain point. My vendor came in and offered me the solution that helped me overcome this challenge. So again, that's a metrics. So organizations need to build campaigns either based on value that has been achieved by past campaigns or market feedback, and then they move on to the next one. So metrics and understanding what the data is telling you and what you've been able to successfully deliver to your customers is the main thing.
What milestones or phases can customers use to measure progress and success during delivery?
Again, I have to re-emphasize here that this is all about metrics. So whatever campaigns that you've done, one of the things is to make sure that you're not missing any measurement tools. So for instance, you've run a digital campaign. Have you really spent time with your teams talking about the results, the views, how people have reacted to your campaign? For example, if you've done an email campaign, how many opens have there been? How many bounces? How many people have just not bothered about looking at your emails? You've run an event, you've had feedback on the event. How many people did you invite? How many actually turned up? And out of those, do you qualify them as warm leads? Do you qualify them as definite closures? So these are things that you really need to spend time documenting and putting together, because only then will you sort of improve. So for me, milestones and phases need to be built around real results. When you're starting, your result timeline could be very simple. It could be very sort of objective based, but as you go along, you need to be able to layer your past experiences and build campaigns that deliver better outcomes.
How can you measure engagement?
Measuring engagement is really about three things. One is, if it's a customer that doesn't know you or a customer profile that hasn't heard from you, measuring in that situation would be, oh my God, people are perhaps interested in what I have to say. So if you get a good result from that, it means you've done something right, your messaging has been good. Now, if it comes to maybe trying to target an audience that knows about you, but that hasn't really invested in you, the outcome of that or the measurement could be, well, look, they've returned to talk to me because of this campaign or this initiative or this event or this outreach. And maybe now that they're actually starting to buy from you, or they've sort of shown interest to review your solutions or offerings and then perhaps be a customer. When it comes to re-engagement, it means really that you've already got the customer, they're sort of aligned with you. Have you been able to expand your portfolio? Have you been able to cross-sell your solutions? Have you been able to convert that customer from going from a single solution, for example, to having more of your portfolio? So this is something that you need to do. Now, in the past, I've worked with a lot of clients to do something called white space analysis. This is very important because white space means they're actually taking their customers and segmenting that into different groups of customers that they would like to have, of customers they've had before who have not bought perhaps, and then looking at new accounts that they want to get, and then removing accounts from that to handle separately of customers that they've already got good engagements with. So white space really helps them look at how many more new accounts they want to have. Another good way is to do a proper gap analysis. Again, where you take your customer base and you segment them clearly into customers who've been long-term buyers, who've bought once but haven't come back, or people with high potential, perhaps they haven't come back to you for a second solution, and ask if they've gone to a competitor or what have they done. So these kind of engagement tactics can help you really understand what your customer profile is doing, and also plan campaigns that are specifically targeted to these groups and saying things that are much more meaningful to them, rather than putting them in a very large umbrella of generic messaging. So in conclusion, marketing or planning a marketing strategy is a very, very wide thing. You can't achieve everything with just one strategy. The way I look at it is really have a plan for every single initiative that you're doing. Think about what you want it to achieve for you. So plan with the outcomes or the KPIs and then work backwards. We're happy to be able to answer any of your questions that you may have, or in case you really want some help planning a strategy, we are here and you know where to look for us. Thank you for watching.